look like, right? For Black Americans, that gave them pride. For white Americans that wanted to move forward, that gave them hope too. And then Jackie, as somebody, as a citizen, always holding America accountable, right? For Jim Crow, for racism, for, continuing with lynching and police brutality. And that's what Jackie brings to us, right? It's nonstop for almost, 15 years from the moment he moves in with the Dodgers in 1947 until he dies in 1972. It's constantly, going at, I said 15, so 25 years, but constantly going at America's throat about racism.
Vanessa, as you were doing your research, did you find examples of baseball's impact on the U.S. that stand out to you or that really surprised you?
I would say things that surprise me because I'm blessed to teach English and history each day, so I have an opportunity to explore those things. And so it was validating in terms of doing the research and figuring out that we have a long way to go within education in terms of making sure that our students know this information, because just like the Negro Leagues were hidden, I think a lot of things are also trying to be erased right now or are not present in our curriculum as much as they should be. So I wasn't really too surprised, but I actually was pleasantly surprised about the fact that, there was a lot of validating information over the course of researching.
How did your view, Vanessa, of baseball change with this project?
Growing up, I think I just viewed sports first of all, sports were my absolute world. I come from a sports family. Everybody in the family watches every single sport that there is on TV. So, I didn't really have much of a choice. I feel like I was born into it, and then baseball's in my blood. But I actually fell in love with basketball. And so I played at the high school level, played overseas, played in college too. But learning to watch the game of baseball, I felt that it was entertainment and that it was a way to authentically express yourself. And I just enjoyed the game. But as I got older, I realized, okay, there's a rich history to this that's very complex, that's very disturbing and painful. But there's also so many stories too that are stories of triumph and adversity and perseverance. And sports can actually bring us together if we look more deeply and more closely and use a critical lens to examine sports instead of just viewing it as entertainment.
What topics did you keep returning to in your research?
In terms of the American landscape and history, or
and baseball, yeah.
And baseball,
yeah.
We constantly explored what it looks like to uncover these hidden figures and their stories. We also examine, race as it relates to baseball, looking at the impact of systemic oppression, and also looking at the cultural landscape and how pop culture also was a part of that, and also music too. So those are some of the strong themes that were present throughout.
What about the business of baseball, Vanessa? I mean, we learn about your grandfather and some of the great players, but what about the business aspect of it?
Financially, I think Professor Moore touched on that. These players were not making the salaries that we see now, right? And so I think that's one of the things that needs to be illuminated too as well, that, there's definitely an opportunity to talk about pensions, to talk about reparations, and also talk about, what it means to be a professional athlete and how we're going to repair the harm pertaining to that.